see that violence against women is seen in 1 in 3 women all over the world. And so it is our duty and also a necessity of the day to have this topic. So, with this introduction, I welcome all the delegates who are watching us all over the world and in the country. Also, I welcome all the esteemed faculty and the members who are here today. I will request Dr. Mandakini Meg, our president of AMWI, to please address the audience. Thank you. Dr. Mandakini Meg, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm here. So, Balas, can you stop sharing?
Yeah, Sanchari, Dr. Sanchari, can you stop sharing?
So, good evening, everyone. And I think it's a great privilege for me to be to present here in the capacity of the president of National Organization AMWI. I'm extremely happy to collaborate with AMOX, Association Medical, of Maharashtra. Also, my dear friend, president of MOGS, Mumbai Obstetric Society, and also she's the president, also secretary general of our organization. So she wearing two hats today. Then we have Dr. Anjali Chivne, whom we have invited, Nagpur president, AMWN. We have our evergreen and ever active Gauri Karandikar, convener. Our very popular faculty, Dr. Rajeshri Katke. We have our chief guest, Miss Alka Deshmukh, who has very kindly consented to be the chief guest for this very, very important function. And she's already heading a Gupta Varta, I don't know what we call it, a CID?
Intelligence department.
So you are going to watch our intelligence in this subject, I'm sure. Then we have Sandhya Saharan and then we have advocate, I think, advocate, I can see her. And all the esteemed faculty, a warm welcome to all of you. As Gauri has rightly mentioned, that we have today a grand finale of the activism which has started 16 days before. And me, myself, Gauri, Rajesh, we all, all the time brainstorm what exactly is to be done, because we are on the progress of all the time thinking about how to stop the violence against women and what is our contribution into this field. I'm extremely, proud of them also, all the team members, that we could do so many training programs all over the globe. I am the global training director for the violence against women. And under the team, Gauri, Rajeshri, so many of them, we have done, training in Zambia, Pakistan, Central Asia, so on and so forth. Italy, we are going to do. So I think we are making a good team. We are trying to make an impact in the international community also, where we require a lot of awareness, not only in the doctors, but among the other paramedicals, staff nurses, etc. I think today we are joined by our chair, because Mini was telling that Mandakini, I will join. If she is around, she can just put up her video and she can come here. And so I welcome her. With these words, I just want to say 2, 3 lines, because I think subject will be discussed in detail. So this violence against women is a global phenomenon. It doesn't know any boundaries, because when we discuss with Pakistan, we discuss with Central Asia, Zambia, Nigeria, USA, in the USA, it is different kind of violence, but there is a violence. So, and in spite of United Nations Assembly, say in 1973, decades after also, we are there where we were. Only 40 countries have, started the legislation that is elimination of this domestic violence, only 40 countries. So there is lot to be done. And as a obstetrician, as heading so many organizations, it is our prime duty as a gynecologist, as a doctor, that we have to find out some solution, that we cannot keep on discussing same thing again and again. But there should be some strategies, there should be, something very concrete which we are going to discuss. Today's topics are very good. And I think workplace violence is again a very new thing, but so many things are coming. We are all, knowing what is exactly happening in the country and outside country. So today we are having extremely in good faculties, lot of discussion. We have two advocates to discuss the legal part of it. And also our chief guest is going to, enlighten us about the safety of the women and how to stop the violence against women. So with this, I think I am going to give the pledge. So it is a very small pledge. Whatever I will say, and you have to repeat. So just a minute. Gauri would get it to the. So we are going to take a pledge. Whosoever is present, please.
All those who are present, please turn on videos so that we can record it.
एक मिनिट गौरी तुझं परत पाठवते गौरी आहे So now I want to start. Who is there here? Faculty कोण ऐकले So I want to start, and first I'll say the sentence. Please repeat. I know how to. So violence against women is girls unite campaign. This unite campaign to pledge for the no excuse. Okay. So I'll say I pledge to stand.
I pledge to stand
Against all violence.
Against all violence
Towards women and girls.
towards women and girls.
I commit to supporting survivors.
I commit to supporting survivors.
Raising awareness and challenging harmful norms.
Raising awareness and challenging harmful norms.
There is no excuse for violence against women and girls.
There is no excuse against violence and against women and girls.
Yeah. Together we create
Together we create
a safer, more equal world.
a safer and more equal world.
With this, I think it's a good pledge, and I think it is very brief, but it is very effective. So we all will work in this direction. With this word, I once again welcome all of you to this grand finale. Now I hand over the mic to the Sanchari for the further.
Thank you so much, madam. That was fantastic. I think there could be no better way to inaugurate this finale rather than to take a pledge. I would now like to request our respected president MOGS, Dr. Suvarna Kadilkar, madam, to please give a welcome note.
Good evening, everyone. At the outset, I want to thank Dr. Mandakini Megh for having this joint effort with MOGS. As a president of MOGS and MOGS as a whole society, we are very, very sensitive to this issue. And I also really admire the whole team you have gathered together of, first of all, Dr. Kiran Kurtakoti, who is our president of MOGS, our chief guest, Ms. Alka Deshmukh, ma'am. I think we are really honored to have you, ma'am, here. Ever active, as just Mandakini Megh said, Dr. Gauri Karandikar, who is a very, dear friend of mine. And, our master of ceremony, Dr. Sanchari Pal, she has written a fantastic article on violence against women in MOGS's newsletter. So I request all of you to go to our website and open that newsletter. She has written a very good article. She belonging from Kolkata, on the background of the Kolkata horrific incident. I think that article has to be read by everyone. So I request you for that. And I also welcome and thank for their valuable presence Professor Dr. Advocate Asmita Vaidya, my own secretary, Dr. Geeta Balsarkar, my dear friend, Dr. Rajeshri Katke, Advocate Indrani Patni, and our NWI active member, Dr. Mary De Cruz, Sandhya Saharan, and Dr. Anjali Chivane, and Dr. Kiran Mai and Monica Umbarwad. I really, really congratulate all of you for having this wonderful program. Let me tell you that, on 25th of November, that was, this is the grand finale, and I feel so proud that on the opening day of this, activism, was the 25th November. That was the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, which is held every year, and it is a global effort to stop violence against women and ensure their safety and rights. It was originally started by UN in 1999. Now, let me tell you, friends, the first webinar we had was, I was installed as a president on 6th of April. And that was the time when I announced my agenda, as I want to do activities on this subject. And we first organized our webinar on 26th of June. And we had requested my dear friend, the world champion, Miss Mary Kom, to be our brand ambassador for this particular, agenda and kind of activity that is going on. And she was more than happy. And she has given a wonderful message, which is also available on our website now. I wish I could have played it this today for everyone's benefit, but she has given a very good message for fighting against this war. And then we had a physical program in SP Jain Auditorium on 27th of September, and it was widely covered in media. And I feel very happy that we could send out the message widely through entire media, where they all could see the program, where we also had a demonstration of how to have a self-defense through a team who has brought in there, and they showed us how to take the steps. And the third one we had on 25th of November, which was the beginning of this 16 days of activism. Now, this theme emphasizes the unite, invest to prevent violence against women and girls, no excuse. This theme emphasizes the critical need for increased investments in prevention strategies to combat violence against women. Additionally, the United Nations Secretary General Unite campaign highlights the alarming statistics that every 10 minutes a woman is killed. I think this is so disheartening and alarming, reinforcing its urgency to end such violence. So this marks the start, the 25th November started off with the 16 days of activism. And today I'm happy I'm a part of webinar when it is the grand, I won't say grand, but the finale of Unite activities. And so that's all from my side. And I wish all of you all the very best for this program. And let's have very fruitful and impactful discussion in this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Swarna. Now there are two similes. You are AMWA secretary here, and you have your secretary. So this is a wonderful. You have your secretary Geeta, and I have my secretary Swarna.
Yes.
Coincidence.
So now, Sanchari, please.
Subarna Madam, for the wonderful address. Really, it is a very relevant issue in today's world. I'd like to next invite my dear madam and all of our dear, very active coordinator, Dr. Rajashri Katke ma'am, to please introduce our esteemed chief guest for the day, Srimati Alka Deshmukh madam. Madam, would you please go ahead?
Thank you, Dr. Sanchari, for those kind words. Thank you, Meg madam. Actually, madam is doing a lots of great work, and we are with her also doing a very great work. Violence against women, it is the major concern. This thing, Dr. Gauri, a very nice friend of mine, is working with us. We have a very good team. And today, and thank you, Dr. Suvarna ma'am, for the wonderful, enlightening talk on all these things. And madam is also doing a very good work. So without wasting the time, I would like to, it's a proud privilege to introduce our chief guest, Alka Deshmukh ma'am. Actually, ma'am is the additional deputy commissioner at the intelligence department. And she has been to come to this stage, she has done a lots of great work in the police department and into the intelligence department. Ma'am had joined the services in 1992 in that, but she has done a very big postings at the level of the security of the airport. then DND Nagar Police Thane, Mumbai, then Anti-Corruption Department at Thane. But the most important thing is that ki ma'am is very dedicated, very sincere, up to the knowledge, and always helpful to everyone. But the most important, the feather in her cap is that on 1st May 2022, she has been awarded about the Maharashtra Police Dalatil Sarvocha Police Mahasanchalak. Means in the state of Maharashtra, she was the the highest and the best one Mahasanchalak, and that is it has been awarded to her. And again, the 26th of January 2023, she has been awarded the Presidential Award for the dedication of her skillful services, and all the of her awards, they are of around more than 150. But beyond the awards, if we can look, is that ki madam has done a lots of great service, and she's very happy to give the uh, yeah, Gauri ma'am. Madam is very happy to give the enlightening talk about how to go ahead with the women's safety. Really, madam, we are worried about that, and even we want to know from you that how the girls can be safe, even how the women can safe in our country, and what are the laws according to you, what are the IPCs where we can look in that. We want to have the knowledge about this, and kindly please enlighten. तर तुम्ही ma'am has worked lots in this field in the regional languages also in that, so she can highlight even with the good examples also. So again, I welcome to Alka Deshmukh ma'am, and thank you very much. And I would like to say one thing is that Sunita madam, she was my friend, and they are working together. And I'm really thankful to her ki ma'am has given you this job because she is there for the training at the Hyderabad. Thank you very much. We all welcome you on this program. Please tell us.
Good evening to all. Firstly, I am thankful to Amol's organization and Dr. Rajeshri for giving such a wonderful opportunity to speak on subject like empowering women in India to be a safe. Really, that subject is not concerned to police department only. It is concerned to the doctors also, because there is a vital role of doctors in that case. Once the case of medical legal case happens, firstly victim goes to the doctor, and it is necessary to doctor to examine her properly, because once doctor examine such a victims in proper manner and report of the all examination in proper manner is submitted to the judicial, then it helps to the victims to get the proper justice, and it is very necessary for the doctors. Secondly, day by day in India, crime against women is increased, and the reason for behind it is all the women means they are coming for the jobs in urban areas, and now our government tries to improve all lot of laws to reduce the crimes against women, but due to the density of population, it becomes critical. And again, our judicial system is very critical, and it is actually complicated. And because of that complicated and critical judicial problem and faulty method of collecting evidences, also we are not using the modern technology, conviction rate is less. So we are also worried about that, and we want to increase the conviction rate. And it is not in only means police department's work, it is the work of the doctors, because once victim has such a cases, they firstly approach to the doctors, and then on the report of doctors they go get the means legal help. So I would like to share some legal provisions which are framed by Government of India, and these legal provisions are: firstly, we have a very good law, that is a protection of women from domestic violence Act 2005. It is very goodly modified act, and it not protect only the married woman. It protect means all women, sisters and daughters also, because due to that law, any woman or any daughter or sister can get help from the judicial. So that is not related to the police only. Once any woman has a problems with their families, she can approach to the court, and judicial court has a some protection officer. These officers registered all the cases in court, and they send the notices to the police for the their means protection orders and the monetary relief. So it is a good work. But once such a kind of incidents reported to the doctors should mention all the injuries of the victims in their reports keenly and very neatly, because once they mention the injuries, it helps that woman or that lady to get the judicial helps or all the properly manner. Secondly, there is another law. It is a sexual harassment of women at a workplace. Means it is a Prevention Prohibition Redressal Act 2030. That act is for the all office work, means working women. If there is an office which are having more than 15 women working in that office, they should have the internal complaint committee, and that committee will help to that such a kind of lady to get the justice, and that justice. So that committee, we have also a local complaint committee, which that committee's head is a collector. And if any lady don't have the ICC committee, she can go to the LCC and register her case. Means that case might be any strictures, like if any male can pass the statements like you looks very nice, you look pretty, and that time if she feels it is not good for me, she can complain for that also. And then after collect, we will give the if as per the nature of complaint, police will register case also, like in previous it is a 509, and thirdly, it is a criminal law. It is amended in 2013. This law amended several provisions of the Indian Penal Code. But now Indian Penal Code is replaced, and it is a BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, because now we don't have the Indian Penal Code. It is a Bharat Nyaya Sanhita. So it enhanced the penalties for the crimes against women. Means previously we have penalties. It is also the punishments are also less. So it is that act enhanced the penalties and punishments also in the rape cases, also the molestations, and several cases which are related to the woman. Thirdly, we have the Dowry Prohibition Act 1931. This act prohibits the giving and receiving of dowry and provides penalties for those who are engaged in dowry-related cases, offenses, and then protect women from exploitation. Nowadays, we are well educated, all educated, so that happens in the only rural areas. Now it never happens in urban areas. So it is a less used law. So again, now we have the BNS. For the dowry, it is a section 80. If it is a dowry death, you can register the case on under section 80. And if it is a cruelty, and BNS 85, it is a cruelty. Cruelty may be by husband or its relatives. And after all, after this all laws, we have some provisions for the safety of the women. That means we have a Bharosa cell. Bharosa cell is working with the NGOs like TIS. TIS is with us for the counseling of the parties. Means once it is a case of a dowry, once it is a case of a dowry, once it is approached to the police station, we'll send both the parties to the Bharosa cell, and then these NGOs will counseling them, and they will try to sort out the problems between husband and wife and try to settle their family life. But if suppose it is not possible, then will forwarded to the registration of the case. Then we have Nirbhaya Pathak. Nirbhaya Pathak is working for 24 hours. If any woman has a problem, that Nirbhaya Pathak will help them immediately. Then police Didi, they will counsel all the small kids and small children for how to behave, how to protect themselves from behavior and all kind of such a thing. Then POSCO is for the children who are below 80. POSCO is very sensitive because if any sexual harassment or sexual intercourses like incidences happens, the case will register against the POSCO, and it is very sensitive. And in these cases, role of doctors are very important because it happens with 1 month or 17 years, 18 years girl also. So in these cases, doctors, all reports should be very examination of her medical examination is in very good manner, and ऐसे टाइम बहुत सेंसिटिव होना चाहिए क्योंकि छोटे बच्चे हैं, माइट बी दे विल एकदम इसमें जा सकते हैं डिप्रेशन में, समटाइम्स वो एकदम फियर में चले जाते हैं, और कभी समटाइम्स वी नीड psychiatric treatment also for such a children. So in these cases, doctor's role is also very important. And after that, I want to share some points of safety, how to take safety measures, and how you will save yourself. So I made the points for you people to regarding the safety. So safety while traveling on road, what to do once you are traveling alone by your own vehicle or alone. So firstly, you should ensure that your mobile battery is full, then you have enough petrol in your vehicle. Always carry your identity proofs with you. Then once you are traveling on highways or lonely places, don't stop anywhere for any person at nights. Do not avoid traveling alone at late night. Then safety during public transport. What safeties you should take when you are traveling? हाँ बोला. हाँ ठीक है. हाँ. So safety on public transport, you should don't travel with strangers in any public transport. Also, don't travel in ladies compartment while it is empty. Then travel in a bogie. So a lot of points I have, but due to the time limit, I would like to complete it. Finally, I want to say something. Empowering women is collective responsibility of whole society. It is not only police or it is not only the doctors. We are the enforcing law agencies, and as a healthcare professional, you have the power to heal and empower. So let us will together and we'll see the fearless women in the society. Thank you once again, Amol,
Thank you.
collectively.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajashree madam.
No, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Actually, sorry, I have to call you because there are so many there and they have a time consent, but very enlightening and very important because we all know about the safeties and all, but all these numbers, laws and all you have given. And next time we can keep a talk also of that, of yours also. And thank you very much joining and coming to us. To Sanchari, yeah, Gauri ma'am. Dono mein se.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Deshmukh Madam, for your valuable time and for accepting our invitation. And we will look forward to a more interactive session next time. Thank you. Thank you for sparing your time. Dr. Sanchari, can we move
We
on
will
to our next
proceed
session?
next with the second session. Please, I would like to introduce our chairpersons for session 2, which is Dr. Sandhya Saharan, madam. Just a second, I'll just, yes. Dr. Sandhya Saharan, madam. Madam is MD FICOG, past president of Thane OBGY Society, honorary joint secretary of PCOS Society, with special interest in endoscopy, PCOS, infertility, and yoga. She's the recipient of the Young Scientist Award in 1994, devised nomograms for labor monitoring, and she has a multiple other feathers to her cap. Our second chairperson for the session would be Dr. Anjali Chivane, madam. Madam is MD Medicine, professor and head of critical care medicine at Savangi, Wardha. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. She's got 25 years of teaching experience in medicine. She's HOD and professor in Department of Medicine at Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College, Savangi at Wardha. She's got multiple publications and original articles to her name. A very, very warm welcome to both the madams. I would kindly like to request Dr. Sandhya madam to please introduce our first speaker for the session, our very own dear respected Dr. Mandakini Megh madam.
Thank you so much, Sanchari. And it is my extremely pleasant task to, I think Madam needs no introduction. Dr. Mandakini Megh is an icon for all of us gynecologists. And Sanchari, I would request you to put Madam's CV on the display. It is such an illustrious CV. It is so huge that I think I will take full 10 minutes to read it out, but I shall just introduce the salient features. Madam is, as we all know, the president of the Association of the Women's Wing Medicine of India, and she has been the president of ICOG FOXY 2021. And Sanchari, do you have it?
And everybody knows.
No, ma'am.
She is also International Vice President, MWIA Central Asia. And Madam has been a teacher for, I think, most of us. She has won numerous awards. She is a member of the FIGO Committee of Infections During Pregnancy, AFOG, Reproductive and Sexual Health Committee, past President, Indian Federation of Ultrasound and Medicine and Biology, past Dean of Indian College of Medical Ultrasound.
Yes,
and Madam, itne sare awards hai. I don't know which one to start. Shikshan Maharashi, Vidya Shiromani.
But the most important position that she is holding is she is the global director for training. There's a training course being held in 58 countries all over the world on violence against women and girls. I think this is something which has taken Madam and India all throughout the world. So I think that is one thing which is not mentioned here. The Thanks. Sorry, Sandhya, for interrupting.
Because I was looking for that. I said this seminar is basically on violence against women, and madam has commendable work on that. So over to you, madam.
Hey, please, can you stop sharing? Yeah. Sandhya, wonderful. I'm the admirer. You know that. I'm admirer of you. I welcome Geeta. Geeta, I can see you since very long, but I could not acknowledge your presence. And other faculties, I really request them to, maybe there is Kiran Mai or other people, please
Rename.
rename. जरा त्यांना सांग जरा. Yeah, just a minute. So the topic today is also very, very important, and that is so I think it has already been displayed by our MOC. So we are in this grand finale. I won't say grand, as Gauri has mentioned, it is a finale of the campaign which we have started 16 days back, and we are having a very interesting program and a mix of IPS, police, faculties, lawyers. I think Gauri has done a fantastic job by getting everybody on the board. I can't take it forward. 1 minute. So I think in the ancient text it was mentioned. Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Because I can't see anybody, but I want to.
Madam, you're audible.
Yeah. So ढोल गवार शूद्र पशु नारी सब है ताड़न के अधिकारी. हम लोग सब हिंदी वाले हैं, हमें मालूम है कि मनु जो अपने जो संत हुआ करते थे, but they have inculcated the very wrong thing into the psyche of the man, that is drum, the illiterate, the lower caste, the animal, and the woman deserve a beating to straighten up. They were treating the woman like animals, and that was a psychology till now. Also, there is a dominated male dominance is there in our society till today. Now, coming straight to the subject, I have been given the subject of workplace violence. So, workplace violence in healthcare environment is around 70% of the nurses, they worry about I'm talking about the medical fraternity, where 70% of the nurses worry about the workplace violence. 7 out of 10 physicians say that violence is, emergency department is increasing. 80% say they are not safe. 35% of the India feel unsafe while at work, study shows. And these are all figures. I will not repeat the figures, but any incidents, I think everybody has said about Kolkata, I will not repeat it. An incident is just the tip of the 1 minute. Huh? 1 second. Why? Please. So a sign of much larger problem below the surface. Declaration of United Nations, and after the decades also we are where 1 in 3 women still experience the violence. Now, in the era of remarkable progress and innovation, it is troubling to see how the treatment of women has not been advanced very swiftly. Despite the policy reforms, growing awareness, women still encounter innumerable challenges that threaten their sense of security, well-being at the work. So, as the women break barriers, they rise to influential positions. We know, I think we all of us know that CEOs and all the big positions are being taken by the women. Organization must recognize the challenges which are surrounding them and catering to their safety. So these are the challenges. What are the sources of violence? From where it comes at the workplace? It may be employee themselves, former employees, then the customers, outsider, criminals, and terrorists. I have a profound, very, terrifying experience of the terrorist when I was Kama Hospital superintendent that time. Bomb blast happened, and we managed the terrorist in those days. And also in the November 26, this Kama Hospital Kasab, and I think many of us, many of our staff has to sacrifice their life. So workplace violence, it may be, what does it include? It includes beating, stabbing, suicide, shooting, violence of the co-worker and customer and personal relations. What triggers the violence? Suppose you give memo to anybody, a class 4. In my time, I used to give memo to the people, and they immediately used to come and start shouting in our offices. So they are firing, bad behavior, poor performance, conflicts and co-worker, customer interaction, and domestic violence. These are the pure statistics. It all shows that it may be assault, threat of violence by 2 million. They are all figures, but overall it says that violence is increasing at the workplace. What is the economic impact? Once the violence is there, we lose the wages. It is around in the this USA study, there's around 55 million annually. There is loss of wages, loss of productivity, legal expenses, property damage, so on and so forth. Now, there is interesting, the other day I was reading that Economic Times in South Korea, the women are dominated by three phases. One is when she is with the father. That time father is dominating, then the husband is dominating, then the son, if she becomes widow, the son is dominating. All the time they are dominated by the male folks. So now they have, as soon as the Trump was, win, that time no dating, no marriage, no kids, they have taken. It was quite interesting, this thing. Now the Kolkata rape and murder case, every woman has a right to live in the violence-free environment. And I must show all of you this. This was when I was in Bangkok for the Central Asia Regional Congress. Many of us, I think Mary and other people were there. We, as a president, Dr. Elinar, and myself as a president of India, Pakistan president, and the Thai president, we given a joint, delegation. We have represented at the international level, and this particular thing was given to the government of India, then to the United Nations, and other optional protocol to eliminate all forms of violence and for the prevention of. So this was a very historical document which physically we all could sign on the 25th August. So this is our international body. If Minnie is around, I think she has already registered. So welcome, Minnie. So what is there after the Kolkata? We again are facing the same thing, crisis of safety. Female health workers in India are needing reforms. It is the need of the hour. And what are different type of, harassments? One is sexual harassment. Then we have the harassment, one of the central factors, hostile work environment. Then physical assault. Actually, the physical assault is there. So many times, even in the OT also, we have seen the surgeons are, beat with the instrument, they are beating the juniors or the nurses, etc. So these are the questioning the gender priority, increasing the injury risk and negligence by the authority. Second is the psychological safety, discrimination and harassment. So psychologically, they are being, harassed and discriminated at their workplace. Safety is the key to the productivity. It unlocks the door of thriving and secure work environment. Then fifth is the bullying and intimidation. Low morale, then they start bullying the, colleagues, limited opportunities and advance. There is no promotions. Even in the health department, we had to fight for our promotion from superintendent to deputy director and deputy director to director. It was a very, very, tough journey for us. And even in the Maharashtra, who was a very progressive state, there was no female chief secretary, though they were extraordinary women at the top, but they were not promoted. So what example we can say? Now she is the first female chief secretary in Maharashtra, Sujata Sonik, and we are really grateful. But the Maharashtra could not promote. So there is so much bias in gender inequality. Now the work-life balance is you have to manage multiple responsibility. All of us are now, though we are sitting in the webinar here, we are managing the patient is in OT, in the house, the children are having some problem, husbands are having. So I think all of us are masters. And by this time, we know how to manage it. But to younger people who have multiple responsibilities, struggle, travel, these are all very, very interesting fact was found that when the pregnancy and maternity leave was there, their colleagues themselves has changed the attitude towards the pregnant women. There is a study where say colleague was, ill-treating them by 60% and the 15% were held back from a promotion. If you all remember, we have invited the Medha Gadgil madam, who was the honorary judge of the MAT, and she said she has given one very, judgment, very judgment in which she has given a justice to a woman who was not promoted because she was pregnant, and that judgment was a very, exceptional judgment and was taken in a good spirit. Now, lack of support system. You don't have in-laws or somebody at the home and you really struggle. Providing training to the employees at workplace safety and harassment. So what is our responsibility, the challenges, and provide the, training to them, creating culture of respect and inclusivity. This is very, very important. In encouraging the open communication. Sexual, I think our chief guest has already mentioned about the sexual harassment policies, then the Vishakha judgment, creating awareness. This has already been discussed, so I will cut from my lecture. Encourage the women to express. They should not keep quiet in one room, but they should actually. And the role of human resource department is very big. They have to take the major role. Women's safety has to be, they should be on the priority of the. Then we should have internal complaint committee, leadership accountability for the women's safety, safe transportation. I remember our operator from Kama Hospital used to go 11 o'clock in the night to the Thane. I used to ask her, how you go and how you reached your home. She said, Madam, kai karna duty hai. So, it's quite difficult for women to, be in the late night duty. Maternity and paternal support, providing mental health. All these are leading to some kind of challenges in the mental health. So they have to be supported for the mental health. Gender pay and equality has to be there. So these are the different morchas. These are our international, which I think Ori has very fondly mentioned that we are doing the global training. I being the global training director, we are doing, lot of work and we are all the time on the toes. We have created a good team with us. So these are, and then Anti-Violence Law, Domestic Violence Act, I think already has discussed. This is a book which I was the chief editor, Prevention, Examination, Treatment of Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Cases. Very useful. As our chief guest said that examination by the doctor is very important. And so many times we are clueless how to examine the patient, how to, report. The younger doctor, they do not know. And then it becomes very difficult for that lady to get the justice. So it is our prime responsibility to examine her properly and mention. And these are the laws already Madam has said. Then we have there all the time we are having the, very important is in the Maharashtra Medical Service Person and Medical Service Act was there, 2010, which covers the registered medical practitioner, nurse or anybody. If they are having any kind of violence, then there should be punishment, but it is hardly practiced. So these are the different this thing. Now there is a guidelines which is available at the website, different guidelines, but two things I will like to mention here, that they say we should have the police chowki on the premises. That is very important. And also we have to, entry pass to the public has to be very strictly monitored. These two things are very, very important from the point of view of the, administrator. And then you have to prepare the health doctor will, grief taker, and then training, etc. All these things are there. And I think Madam has already said about the domestic IPC, Section 320 in Penal Code protects the healthcare professionals. And this, she has already mentioned about the POCSO Act and other acts. I'm just going through. One very important thing that even the NHS in London and this NHS is saying that there is a, figure is very incredibly disturbing. Chief nurse says, and Rini Thakkar, who is our president of RCJ, said, the harassment and bullying is very, very much unacceptable levels. And then this is this Domestic Violence Act. We have multiple responsibility. We have a lot of prevention strategies. The role of healthcare workers is great. And, we have to recognize all the violences, training of the requirement of the different cadre. I think we are already doing this. So it takes leadership to improve the safety. Safety begins with the teamwork. And unless until we improve the status of the women, empower the women in true sense, it's not only on the paper, gender equality, all these things will be leading to prioritize women's work safety by creating an environment free of biases and stereotype. So no excuse, hashtag no excuse for the rape and violence. So thou shall not be a victim. Thou shall not be a perpetrator. Above all, thou shall not be a bystander. Thank you very much for patient listening. I will stop sharing.
Thank you so much, madam.
Madam, I think that was a beautiful lecture. I think so many insights, and it was not only very well given, but it was also very motivating and inspiring. The quotes which you have given us, they teach us that we should have confidence in ourselves. And especially nowadays, there are so many stringent laws in the workplace. So I think women should be aware of their rights also. And for this very reason, our next talk, it is something why women hesitate to seek help. That is something which we need to understand. And I think our next speaker is going to enlighten us on that. It is again my privilege to introduce Advocate Asmita Vaidya, Madam. Sanchari, can I have Madam CV?
Sanchari, you're muted. Can you put the
Yes,
CV?
yes, I will just start sharing. Yes.
Madam is the principal of the Government Law College, Mumbai, and she has been a gold medalist at the university level and a topper. She has chaired many technical sessions, delivered many lectures as a resource person, organized national and state level conferences, training courses, workshops. She is a recognized supervisor for PhD students at RPM, Nagpur University, author of 8 reference books, more than 90 articles on women's rights, recipient of Tejaswini Award, Nation Builder Award, Navdurga Superwoman 2020 Award, and recently bestowed with the Top Educator Award 2022 by Rhythm Group's SCLRRC Mumbai. Welcome, madam, and please, we would like to hear from you about what is it that is preventing women from seeking help and how do we address it?
Thank you very much for making me a part of this webinar organized by the Association of Medical Women in India and AMOGS Midlife Committee and AMOGS Stree Shakti Sagar project. I'm really thankful particularly to Dr. Gauri Madam as well as Dr. Meg Madam for making and inviting me and making a part of this function to me. Basically, I was just looking and hearing the discussion of both the experts. I really feel that what exactly you mean by harassment should be communicated. What is harassment? That might not be many of, because violence and harassment, they are different things. Violence is in a very brutal form, whereas harassment at workplace, because the topic which has been given to me is regarding the harassment at workplace and why the girls or the women, they hesitate to go against it, and what can be the solutions. So while studying that, I feel that one should know what is harassment. It is a kind of behavior of a person which intends to trouble or annoy something. So to put the woman in a very awkward position, that is harassment. It may be physical, it may be mental, it may be of a sexual kind. Generally, harassment implies the sexual kind of a tinge is always there. And so we always say that it is unwelcome verbal, visual, physical conduct of sexual nature that is severe or pervasive and affects working conditions or create a kind of hostile atmosphere or work environment. So there are 3 important key factors. That is, first is behavior that has a sexual element. Second is behavior that is not welcome by the person at whom it is directed. and behavior that could reasonably offend or humiliate or intimidate that person. We come to know that our colleague is making comment, which is really a very vulgar, but he is in a different way appreciating you. For example, my colleague, she was wearing a very new Mangal Sutra on her wedding anniversary, and she came to the office, and one of my colleague before us, he said that ki madam aaj kuch khas hai kya, you wear the new Mangal Sutra? She said yes, we are having a wedding anniversary. Then he said ki Mangal Sutra is beautiful and the platform on which it is resting, it is also beautiful. So you will find that this is very, very objectionable and having a sexual tinge. So that kind of behavior of a colleague amounts to the sexual harassment. There are different kinds of sexual harassment like quid pro quo, hostile environment, and eve teasing. We know that all the ladies who are sitting here, they are well versed with the eve teasing, and it is very, very common in Indians, it is said so. And studies shows that near about 32% students, 35% the antisocials, and 33% middle-aged men, they go for the eve teasing. So every class, they go for the eve teasing. Fortunately, nowadays, people and we women are also to some extent become very conscious about it, and therefore nobody dare to do that. Therefore, we find that while going into the public transport, many of the women or the girls, they carry along with them the chaku or something like that, which is a safety measure for them. Then we can observe that eve teasing is, as I said, it is common, but the first question to ourselves is, are we safe at home within four walls? Are we safe outside? Or are we safe where we go for the work? The answer is no. And therefore, when we talk about harassment, particularly at workplace, we have to look at it very seriously. This is because we hesitate to go or make any kind of a complaint against it. Now, what are the effects of the sexual harassment? There are different effects, particularly on individuals, even organizational. We find there is a harassment because a very efficient lady who is a IT expert, she has actually given the resignation only because of this factor. So company is going to lose a good hand. So there is a direct impact on individual as well as on the company. Individually, she get disturbed emotionally, psychologically, professionally, even physically, as well as socially also. She get introvert and she feels very, very unsafe everywhere. And with that intention or with that insight only, she starts looking at everybody. Even with the relatives, she find that they may have some bad intention to have or to harass, and one kind of a unsafe feeling she realizes. And therefore, what is very, very important is, as the second part of my talk is, a very important part is to have the or to create the insight. Firstly, she should understand what harassment is and how to tackle it. And that kind of insight should be there. For that, we know that some legal remedies are there. For example, making a complaint or social boycott on that person, or imprisonment, life imprisonment, and even the death penalty in some heinous cases like Vishakha and others, or even the recent one. I would like to highlight one very interesting case of very big fellows, like you might have heard about it. Mrs. Rupan Deval Bajaj versus Kanwar Singh Gill. Now, what he has done while they were in the party, while talking and having the discussion, he just put his hand on the back part of Rupan Deval Bajaj. She was an IAS officer and he was also IPS officer. So they were actually sharing the party along with the others, and while talking, he did this, which was absolutely objectionable, and she has made a complaint against it. And this case has changed the meaning of the terms, the modesty, privacy, in such a way that any kind of harassment or inconvenience done to the women's private or public life will be considered as offense. That is what exactly has been decided under this case. Now, my part is, I would like to focus more on, because there are so many laws which tries to prevent all these kinds of violence against the women. List, if we go through, there are near about 70 to 80 acts which particularly are framed for the women, making her more comfortable, or preventing any kind of harassment against it or violence against her. But what we can do, if anything happens to us, firstly, every employee should know, lady employee should know what harassment is, to identify the harassment. For example, setting a person before you, your colleague, with opening two legs, sitting in such a way, the body language itself, it speaks about that he is not having any good intentions. So if he is committing such kind of thing, the first and foremost thing is you must write it down what happened. Then you will have to seek the advice कि ऐसा कुछ उसने किया है. Body language shows that while giving advice, he's just touching my hand, or he is trying to coming to me, or looking in such a way. So whether all these things amounts to harassment or not. So seek advice. And when first instance happens, you have to say strictly no. No clearly. Say no. And this is what exactly every mother should taught to the daughter, that if somebody touches you, that moment you should say no clearly. You should resist something. Report the harassment, because as Madam Alka Madam have clearly said that ICC is compulsory in every office, that is Internal Complaints Committee. You should immediately report what had happened to you to your authority. So report the harassment and start paper trailing. Now, it is not compulsory that physically you should go to the office and lodge a complaint. You can even send the email, and you review your personal file. See that each and every detail of kind of a harassment which happened with you has been written down. Use grievous procedures at work, file lawsuit, keep working. This is very important. Even though harassment incidents had happened with you, don't leave the job. Keep working, because you can fight against such kind of harassment only and only when you are there. So another important tip is avoid discussion with other colleagues in this regard. Though she might be very good friend of you, but don't discuss much more about it. Because actually it gives a door open for nonsense talks and discussions. Complaint with government authority if your authority is not looking to you. Keep your family informed. This is very important. You have to take your family into confidence. Write plenty of letters. Take advice from someone who has already gone through such kind of harassment, sexual harassment. Narrate your horror story at sexual harassment forums. Use a good record device. This is very important. Nowadays, we are having this mobiles with you, but we forget to do any perfect use of it. So whenever you feel like your boss is not okay, so please keep your mobile with you, having recording facility with you or something like that. Take the advice, as I have already said, then discourage the sexual harassment. Act professionally and with authority. This is very important for every girl. Be polite, but not overtly friendly. This generally happens in IT sector, that while talking, they don't know their Lakshman Rekha and they go beyond that. So it should not happen. You should be very professional while doing your work. Do not give details about your personal or social life. Try not to be alone with the person. Do not ask for the personal favors. For example, I want promotion, so sir, please, I'm ready to do anything for you. Don't do that. Make sure to keep conversations to work and things related to work, and inform the persons of your discomfort and ask them to stop it. This is very important. So first important thing which I feel is, if anything happens to any of the lady worker, she should not feel guilty, because she is not on the wrong foot. Warn the wrongdoer. This is another thing. You have to warn him. Call the Human Rights Commission. Keep away the emotions. So if you do all these things, these are very, very important tips. I think we can win in such kind of prevention of sexual harassment at workplace. So prevention is the better option, I do feel. And therefore, and second important thing is teach your every faculty that respect legal protection and social acknowledgement which has been given to us, because only because of that we are here and we are leading our professional life, and we are leading our companies, as well as we are very successful as a doctor, as a lawyer, as an administrator, and we are there in every field. So this is what exactly we have to do to keep our self safe. So say no to sexual harassment, say no to violence.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. It was really enlightening and something really small but very important tips and really valuable tips that we have got. I'm extremely grateful for you. From your busy schedule, you have really given us this time and input. Thank you so much once again from all of us. Sandhya, can we move on to our next speaker if it is okay with you?
Yes, of course, please.
Dr. Anjali, will you introduce our next speaker after Dr. Vaidya has finished?
Yes, good evening all. Our next speaker is Dr. Geeta Balsarkar. She is a OBS-GYN, MD in OBS-GYN. She is editor emeritus for Journal of OBS and GYN of India. She is a secretary of Mumbai OBS-GYN Society, past president of Association of Medical Women India, president of Menopause Society Mumbai branch, chairperson of Young Talent Committee, recipient of prestigious Har Gobind Foundation for the Study of Fetal Medicine in 2008, Professor Said GS Medical College and Nauroji Wadia Maternity Hospital, and she has undergone training for the PPI UCD program. I have introduced Dr. Geeta Balsarkar for her talk.
Thank you, Dr. Anjali. Kindly allow me to share my slide. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Mandakini Megh and Dr. Gauri Karandikar for giving me this particular topic to talk on. It's just a 10-minute talk, and most of us already know about it. I'm going to talk about the impact of violence on women. And like we all know that there are serious health consequences from death, which we have seen the 3-4 cases that has come out in the news recently. Lots of physical injuries, unintended pregnancies, induced abortions, sexually transmitted infections, including HIV in sexual, violence, depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, harmful use of tobacco, drugs, and alcohol. These are all the various complications and the health consequences of violence against women. Now, if we try to divide it on the physical health outcome, the mental health outcome, and the fetal outcomes, the physical health outcome could be the injury to the genital organs, unwanted pregnancy, gynecological problems, sexually transmitted diseases, miscarriage, pelvic inflammatory disease, chronic pelvic pain, headache, permanent disabilities, asthma, irritable bowel syndrome, and self-injurious behaviors. Whereas the mental health outcome, which is not very commonly talked about, like it is depression, fear, anxiety, low self-esteem, they feel it is there because of some fault of theirs that this violence has actually happened, sexual dysfunction, eating problems, obsessive compulsive disorders, post-traumatic stress disorders, and suicidal tendencies. And the fatal outcome could be suicide, homicide, or like she can lose her life in an unwanted pregnancy, maternal mortality, or she can contract some diseases which can kill her, like HIV, AIDS. So if we divide it among the sexual violence, it can be physical, sexual and reproductive violence, and psychological and behavioral violence, and then the fatal outcomes. In the physical violence, there can be fractures, there can be chronic pain syndromes, fibromyalgia, permanent disabilities, gastrointestinal disorders. In the sexual and reproductive, she can have infections like HIV, urinary tract infections, unwanted pregnancy, pregnancy complications, vaginal bleeding, traumatic gynecologic fistula,
unsafe abortions, chronic pelvic pain, and psychological and behavioralist depression, eating disorders, sleeping disorders, drug alcohol abuse, poor self-esteem, and some self-harm. And among the fatal outcomes, there can be suicide, there can be homicide, AIDS-related mortality, or maternal mortality. So the same thing is there in all forms of complications. We can have reproductive health complications, mental health, behavioral health, and the fatal outcomes. But many of these patients also could be having high risk behavior, like they could have had an unprotected sexual intercourse, early sexual initiation, multiple partners, alcohol, drug abuse, all these eventually, not being good for the woman. So when does this actually begin? The violence against women begins pre-birth, from the sex selective abortion. In the infancy, it can be neglect. In healthcare, it can be nutrition. In childhood, it can be child abuse, malnutrition, and female genital mutilation in certain communities. In adolescence, it can be forced prostitution, trafficking, forced early marriage, psychological abuse, rape. And in reproductive age, it can be in the form of dowry killings, intimate partner violence, sexual abuse, homicide, sex work, trafficking, sexual harassment. In the elderly women, it can be the elderly or the widow abuse. So all in all of these lead to all the health effects that we see in these patients. So the domestic violence, if we mainly talk about domestic violence, it can be in the form of physical, punching, shoving, and bodily injury or pain. And the mental health as a consequence of domestic violence can be depression, loss of interest, sadness, isolation, anxiety, restlessness, insomnia, headache, and hopelessness. So what we can do for that, if we see that the physical and chronic effects of the violence against women can be short term, like just bruises, fractures, and injuries, or it can be long term, like chronic pain, headaches, fatigue, immune and endocrine and gastrointestinal disorders. Actually, it is 2 times they have the risk of asthma, irritable bowel syndrome, and diabetes, as they survive their physical and mental health problems. In mental health, survivors are 3 times more likely to have a mental health condition like depression. It's as high as 70%. And PTSD is as high as the 84%. The health risk behaviors by survivors are 6 times more likely to become dependent on drugs or alcohol, and 2 times more likely to smoke, become obese, practice sexual risk behaviors, and increased risk of sexually STDs and HIV. The reproductive health it increases, domestic violence increases risk for unintended pregnancies and the poor birth outcomes. So domestic violence is highly prevalent. 1 in 3 women will experience domestic violence in her lifetime, and actually young low income women actually have a lot of this particular burden, and it's a very huge cost to the domestic system. So actually, as doctors, when we take history, many of the times we are not taking the violence into account at all when patients come to us with any of these symptoms. So what are the populations and what are the health and the socio-economic consequences they can have? It can range from suicide, communicable diseases, health harming behaviors, or in women and girls, we can have abortions, preterm birth, low birth weight babies, infant mortality. They can be female genital mutilation, causing infection, cyst abscess, fistula, sexual dysfunction, early marriage with its complications, and children, including adolescents, who carry this trauma into much later in life. Now, there is something called as a family violence, where women and children both are beaten. Now, this is very bad. And when women see their children beaten, or children see women beaten, 65% of women who had children in their care, they experienced violence by a current or former partner, reported that even children were involved, and the children had seen or heard their violence. This can have a very bad effect on the children, also mental health of the children. So if we see, all in all, the violence against women has got society problems, it's a community problem, it's a relational problem, and even it's an individual problem. So we have to deal with it in a very big way. And I'm happy that today we are talking about this. The entire talk should be about a women-centered response. As healthcare providers, we have to support our clients by giving them knowledge and awareness, by giving them skills, by giving them principles and the context and the attitudes and the health system which supports the healthcare providers. They should be helping us in taking care of these women, and the society should support the healthcare system. Community-based services are required, social services are required, and the laws and criminal justice, which we just heard the talk before, all these go towards supporting the women-centered response. So as doctors, what we should give these women is a women-centered response. So women definitely matter, and we have to stop the violence against women. And thank you for a very patient hearing.
Thank you, Dr. Geeta Balsarkar, for your wonderful talk on impact on how violence impacts the women. And it was a very insightful talk. Can we move on to our next speaker?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I'll introduce Dr. Gauri Karandikar, who is going to give a talk on overview on global training program on violence against women.
Yes, ma'am. I'm already been introduced.
Yes.
Can I start?
Yes, sure.
Sanchari, can you share my presentation?
I will just.
Welcome, Kiranmai.
Thank you everyone for being a part of this important webinar. And my presentation is a very brief overview of the global training program that we have been conducting over the last 1 year. Dr. Mandakini Megh, as we know, is the global training course director, and she has entrusted this into all this work to most of our Indian members to formulate this training program and to conduct this. Now, very importantly is that this today's activity is a finale of the 16 days of activism, which began on 25th of November, and various chapters of AMWI have been conducting various activities on raising awareness regarding violence against women. And as medical doctors, like everybody has said, that most of the times we are the first point of contact where women come and meet us for some health issues, or where they can talk. And that is why it has been recognized that women have a very important role, and women doctors per se are most of the times are the first point of contact. Even like for harassment, as Dr. Vaidya said, not necessarily there has to be violence. So a doctor like a confidant where where women will come and talk. So that is why we have been doing this programs. Even this AMOX, that is our state body, has been doing a lot of activities, and FOXI, that is our national body, where Dr. Kiranmai also will be telling us. So all over the country we have been doing activities, and today is our finale of the 16 days, and that is why we have put up our hashtag no excuse for violence. So thank you, Sanchari, for sharing this. So this program or this training program was first initiated by the president of MWIA, that is the Medical Women International Association, and Dr. Minnie Oseji. She is the SIG in charge of this activity of training for ending violence against women and girls, and I have been the coordinator. Sanchari, can I have my next slide? Sanchari? So the first training program was at the Regional Congress for Near East and Africa, that was held in Zambia, and that was in May 2024, and where we had leaders from all over the world, including Italy and Spain and Zambia, and there we conducted our first training program for ending violence against women and girls. Next slide, please. So basically, the tagline for this program is a safe world for every woman. Now, this was not possible without teamwork, and there is we have visionaries who are at the top of MWIA who are working towards this, and also along with this, they have made a treaty with every woman. Every woman treaty has been signed, where now they are working towards collaborating with different nations and also moving towards raising awareness on this issue. Now, we all have heard that 1 in 3 women face violence at some point of time in their lives, and every 10 minutes, 1 woman is killed. So we realize that the problem is not only in India, all over the world, there is a lot of issues going on. In fact, in some places, we found that laws are much more prevalent and much more followed in India rather than in the world. Can we have a next slide? So the next training program was at the Central Asia Regional Congress that was held in Thailand in August, and there we had Dr. Mandakini Meg and all our committee members who attended it physically, and we had taken this online training course. Can we have the next slide? So these are the two visionary leaders who are now coming together. Professor Eleanor, she is the president, and Dr. Mandakini Meg from India, and they are the two visionary leaders who are working very hard to sensitize all our women doctors against the violence against women and girls. Next slide, please. Next slide, Sanchari. Yeah, and like ma'am showed the treaty that was signed, or the statement that was issued by all the leaders of the world, and we have members all from all over the globe coming together and taking a pledge, like we did take a pledge just now at the beginning of the program. A pledge was taken to work together to end this violence against women. Next slide. Yes, and then we had one very interesting program where AMWI, that is the Association Medical Women Association of India, we were contacted by the Medical Women Association of Pakistan, and they wanted to have a joint program with us, and they wanted a training program for their members. This was held in November 2024, and Dr. Waziha Rizwan from Pakistan, she took a great initiative in getting this training across, and we had such great insights from all of them. And like we are facing here, I think our judiciary and our police department and whatever social structures that we have, I think hats off to our leaders who have made the acts. Hats off to the police department who is working so wonderfully. And I think there is a long way to go, but after we have gone through these programs, we realize that India is a safe place for many women, and we are really blessed to be in India. I mean, once the heartbreaking stories that we heard from people from all over the globe have made us realize that yes, our leaders and our judiciary and doctors in India have worked really hard to give us a safe place where we can work, we can practice. Because when we talk to them about harassment at workplace, they said there is no implementation. We have only theory, and it is very difficult to actually go and complain or do something. And I'm really thankful to this whole society of India, wherever we are leading, and we are leading in many aspects. We have very great laws in our country. Yes, implementation can be much better, but then like Vaidya madam said, it is important that people should talk up and come up and speak up. So this was held in November. Next. And this is, we took the pledge of a bond of one humanity. That is something which we are propagating. That is, one humanity is the theme for the triennial of MWIA. Next. And a very big thank you to the whole contributor team who has been contributing so much through this training programs. I mean, this is all teamwork with Meg Madam as our president, and Dr. Mangal Rathi, myself, Dr. Preeti Deshpande, Dr. Rajeshri Katke, and Dr. Shashibala Bhosle. They have all contributed immensely to making of this training program, because it's all a collective teamwork. So we still have some more meetings which are being planned at the Central Asia Congress and then the World Congress, which is going to be held in October. So this is a brief overview, and we still have a long way to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, madam. That was very enlightening and some really, really great work that you've done.
To say something, Gauri, extremely well presented. And I think because you are there as a, this Indian coordinator, I can say, and extremely good work. I must thank Gauri for this initiative. Whenever I am, not available, but she will see to it that she is contacting international faculty. She is contacting somebody like Gauri is required. It's not me. She has already said that leaders are there, but actually the person who is actually motivating, I want to really thank Gauri.
Oh, ma'am, it's teamwork, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And second thing, Rajshri, everybody. I think I want to mention here that in CARC, Elena told me, Mandakini, we want to have tomorrow. I said, tomorrow? But then how it is possible? I'm in Bangkok. And I think Mary was also there. So she said, no, Mandakini. And she has booked very big hall, very big, the screen, and you can see the photographs there. And whole Pakistan, CRC, all people were there. And our own Indian people were the faculties. I'm extremely proud of my team. And I think, thank you very much. Because of you people, we are actually, and India is shining very high at the MWIA. And here I want to really mention that I am also being, proposed for the world president.
Yes.
My name is, Mary will tell.
Yes, yes.
My name is proposed as a world president because they see a lot of potential in India, not only in me, but all the team here. And I think we are going to do extremely well because we really know the subject we want to handle. And I think we will be coming, shining, India shining.
Shining up,
Yes,
India
ma'am.
shining.
Let us move. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. We still have two more
Yes,
speakers
Sanchari.
who are still who are going to
Yes.
enlighten us on
Yes.
actual cases that have occurred, and that is something which we should really be looking forward to. So, can we have the next chairpersons, Sanchari?
I'd like to welcome the chairpersons for the case-based discussion, Dr. Suvarna Khadilkar Madam and Dr. Mary Cruz Madam. Dr. Suvarna Khadilkar Madam, like we all know, I think needs no further introduction. She is the president of MOGS. Just a second, let me just put up Madam's CV on screen. Madam is the president-elect of MOGS. She's professor and head of the department and consultant endocrinologist and gynecologist at Bombay Hospital. She's deputy secretary general of FOXI 2021-24. I don't know if you can see the screen.
Last 10 minutes, please.
Sanchari, go ahead. It's okay.
Yeah.
She's editor-in-chief, Journal of OB/GYN of India. She's recognized teacher endocrinology in University of South Wales, UK. She's FIGO member, she's member of FIGO working group, treasurer FOXI, president of Indian Menopause Society. Madam has multiple feathers on her cap. A very warm welcome once again, madam. Dr. Mary D. Cruz, Madam, is a physician and diabetologist. She's past president of Diabetes Research and Welfare Association, vice president of Diabetes and You, head of AMWI Kolkata chapter, executive committee member of API, ex-vice president of API West Bengal, and lead auditor of ISO system. She's also faculty of EPGCD. A very warm welcome, Mary, Madam.
Thank you so much, Sanchari.
Ma'am, can you introduce our next speaker, Dr. Rajeshri?
Dr. Rajeshri's CV?
Yes.
Can I have it?
Yes. Please just give me a moment. This is...
Yeah.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Fia.
Maybe Sanchari, you could read it. It's not come on
Yeah.
yet.
Yes.
Please read it so we don't waste time.
Yes.
Please.
So
Thank you.
Madam is what to tell about Madam. Madam is very close.
Exactly.
To my
if Sanchari starts talking about Madam, it will be 1 hour. So
No.
Please, okay, Sanchari, please go into the brief introduction. That's important.
So Madam is professor and head of the unit at St. George's Hospital and so JJ Group of Hospitals. Madam is ex-superintendent Kama and Albliss Hospital. Madam has, I don't know how many awards to her name now. She's published more than 100 publications in national and international journals with 362 plus citations and 203,000 global reads. And World Record of London Commitment Certificate, Mumbai Achievers Award, Vagini Puraskar. She's also been awarded from the Honorable Chief Minister. Like I said, Madam, it is never ending. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Sanchari. Thank you, Dr. Mary ma'am. And I would like to share my screen. Yes.
Yes.
So basically, yes. So I would like to just get, it is a very, I'm, 1 minute. This is, okay. Okay. See, in last 30 years, I am in this field of the OBGYN working and all, and last 27 years, just handling all these cases. And so I have been various committees like Manodharya, POXO committee, and all this PCPNDT and all in the with the government, state of government and all these things. I have chosen because for 10 minutes, in 10 minutes, it's very difficult to give many cases in that. So this is the first case where the sexual assault on a minor girl child aged 3.5 years. So patient, this girl has come with the lots of, huge perennial tears in that, huge bleeding. She was in a hypotension, and myself and the pediatric surgeon, both we have done the things, and we could able to save this patient. But the important thing is that when this patient has come, she has come with the FIR. But what are the medical legal aspects in that? Sometimes the patients, they may not come with the police also. So at this patient, FIR was already done. However, in such cases, if they come in the clinical practice, please inform the police. It comes into the POXO Act. It is mandatory to report such cases to the law enforcement authorities. Failure to do so can lead to the treating doctor penalization in that. But basically, what it happens, many of the times people ask that whether to give the treatment or not. In emergency, you are supposed to give the treatment. Delaying the treatment for such emergent cases can land the treating doctor in trouble with the court of the law. So it is very important in that if suppose it has not informed to the police, please inform to the police. Let they come with the all these IPC and all those things, and then after that we can do. Why it is important? Because in such cases I have gone as an expert opinion in many cases in the session court, and there it becomes very important to have your primary notes, examination and everything in that. So that has been helped us in all these cases in that. So let's have a just word about a POXO, because already has been spoken about it. The protection of this POXO Act in 2012, it is a gender neutral law, and the victim can be both male and the female. So in the punishment is very vigorous in that, and minimum of the 5 years or the depending upon the long imprisonment also, it depends upon the what sort of the things they have been taken in that. Basically, the children and the adolescents with emotional and the behavioral problems that comes with all these sexual assaults cases, and it is morely with the relations and relatives, and the some of the or the in cases with the human trafficking and all those things, and such cases they do come in that. So it is very horrible, if 3.5-year girl, if it is the everything was torn and everything, and with that we collected the samples and it has been run in the this thing, the law of the court. So the case too was very sensitive in my life, where I have gone there as a expert opinion, where the pregnancy was result from the sexual assault by the father. She was 7 months pregnant. She came to us. Then she told that, and her aunt has, slapped her so much that her teeth was broken and cheek was swollen in that. So I did, in the history I have written everything like that, and all thorough examination was done in that. And she was delivered. We did a DNA examination for her, and the father has been, really get the punishment in this case. But the thing is that when I was standing for giving for this expert opinion in the law of court, I have been cross-examined for 45 minutes from the opposite things, and he said, why you have written that the father has been raped? Then I told them ki I am a doctor, what the patient says I have to write, that is what is called as a history taking. And on that the whole court was the court's view was on the positive side, and with DNA we have given the justice to this girl. This is about the preventing intimate partner violence, improves the mental health in that. Violence against women, it is a global problem, and domestic abuse can have a severe and long lasting impact on the mental health. Victims and survivors with mental ill health are also more likely to have other complex needs also. See, this is the one thing I would like to highlight is that, and this is in more in practice, we have seen the cases where they become so depressed and there are obsessive suicidal thoughts. So one should go, as Dr. Vaidya madam has told, that you are supposed to stand for yourself, ask for the support, and even our guest Alka Deshmukh ma'am also, she told that there are the laws and it will be helpful to everyone in that. This is the third case, sexual assault on a 17-year-old mentally handicapped girl. She was in a very bad state of mind. She was not realized how she has been taken, how she has been gang raped and all that. Police has brought her. We have treated all these tears and everything in that. But what has happened, they were not ready to do the POXO in this case, to register. They said she's a young and adult and all. And she was not in a mental state to tell that what has happened with her. And in this, I did the age determination, then age dental formula with radiation x-rays and everything. And then after that, I told them that this comes under the POXO Act and you have to do in that. Unfortunately, she has acquired an infection of the hepatitis, and she was on day 3 and day 4. There was a fulminant jaundice for her. So these are the hazards for that. But we could able to help her with doing the POXO and giving these IPCs, and this case has also been stood very well in that. So in a mentally retarded cases, if suppose such patients come to us, then what is our moral responsibility is that we are supposed to do the psychiatric evaluation, IQ, and the mental status of that. And this is very important. We have done with the forensic department, the radiology forensic, x-rays, and the forensic odontology, and we have asked for this case to file under the POXO Act, which was previously not registered, but with the age determination we have done it and all that. So this is the one thing which has been helped. The impact on the physical and the mental health, it is basically right from the broken bones to the death of the woman in that. So these are the things where we are coming with the mentally. This is the big challenge to have a mentally retarded, whether or the child is there, and those things in such cases it becomes very difficult. I have one case where I have gone to the law court in Jalgaon, where the patient was bitten. She was gangly raped and she was bitten so much so that her whole body was like a black, and there were fracture to the hand, humerus, femur, everywhere, and to the back to the back also. So these are, apart from these are the bruises and all on the physical level, but on the mental it becomes a big scarring out of this. So these are the things with that's how I mean how the world is moving in that. As our thing is against the domestic violence, so I just took one case of this. Was there are many cases they are coming to us, but she was 7 months and assaulted over abdomen by kicking and beating her by the husband and the so-called relatives. Patient came to casualty. We have done the EPR, and what it has happened, then they were forcing her not to tell the stories and all these things, and but the baby was in a jeopardy condition. So basically we did the medical management for the pain in abdomen, ultrasound examination, fetal well-being treatment was given, EPR was done, but we informed to the police, and after that she got the justice. The thing is that sometimes they are scared. What will happen, ma'am, if suppose if I tell against them, where I will stay? So we have the protection officers, and there is a shelter home also. I have been worked on this POXO Manodhari also, and I have worked also in that those things where the shelter homes and the NGOs are there, where the police can take the protection also, and the law also can help in the things in that. So safe and well, 93% victims of the mental health needs had visited their GP, 22% of they need the mental health in that, and 66% victims of the mental health needs were in a financial difficulty, and this is very important in that. So basically intimate partner violence is the one thing where we can we have to take care of this, and the government is also taking care of in the state also, and in the country also. So the government, the COVID-19 pandemic has magnified conditions. We have seen many such cases about the violence against women across the globe and over the world, and it has been the havoc with that actually. So this is just all the things. So key recommendation that more investment in prevention and services for the violence survivors. Mental health services must use gender sensitivity. Train healthcare staff in gender-based violence and survivor-centered approaches. This is very, very important. Whenever such cases, they go to the police, they should be empathetic rather than asking the thing. Even with the law, when they go, they present, sometimes they get depressed that what has been, how to tell in the court of the law in that. And it is our, as a doctor, it's our moral responsibility. When you document it very properly, examine it, and if you present in the law of the court, always I have seen there is a success. You can give the justice to the women, because it depends. The law works on the facts and the evidences for that. So this is about this. So health providers, this I have spoken, and cognitive behavioral processes and skills should be important in how to promote the mental well-being. So we should give her emotional stability, learn about the self boundaries, as Madam Vaidya Madam has told that mindful exercises should get the mental support from the professionals where we are doing it that. So these are the helplines of the Delhi Police and National Police, and worldwide there is a Cochrane review is that the psychological therapies and the help to the women, it is being help whenever there is a prevention of the domestic health or the violence against women, and when it happens, how you should tackle with that. So at the outset, I would like to thank the MWI President National and our icon, Dr. Mandakini Meg Madam. And she's very loving, caring. She's my sister, elder sister, and she's doing a lot of good work in that. And my team is with Dr. Gauri, then myself, Dr. Mangal Rathi, Dr. Priti, and Dr. Shashibala in that. So I would like to, these are the actually so many cases I have gone into the court of the law and as expert opinion and all. The time is short, so I took about the right from the 3.5 year to the 60-year-old with the mentally challenged cases, and with the rape with the father, which was very sensitive in that. So your self-worth, self-esteem, health and life matters much more. Break the silence, stand up within, speak out, say no more to the domestic violence. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thanks, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajshri, for that excellent deliberation. But we have learned a lot from you regarding managing these traumatic cases. Even for us to listen to them is so hurtful. And with such great dignity and empathy, you have taken us through these cases. It is indeed laudable.
Ma'am, I used to read a lot. I used to read a lot, and I used to go and never used to discuss all these things either with the police or the advocate, because anyway we have to give some justice, and there was so much of the stress going through all these things. Sometimes
And
they
madam, in spite of what you say today, even now, whatever education level, whatever your economic status, women still suffer harassment in many forms. It could be just a word, it could be a look, it could be something that is, indirectly said to you, and we all face it. I speak to so many young medical graduates, and I'm so upset to hear about their relationship issues. They are constantly being put down. They have equal education, but that put down, it keeps continuing in society. So yes, mental scars that we leave with even a word or a look, we need to help to set that right. And indeed, because of you and Dr. Mandakini's presence, hopefully she will be President International. I think we will be able to change things across the world. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. May I request the other chairperson to introduce, or shall I introduce the next speaker?
Ma'am,
I think you can introduce Advocate Indrani Patni. Yeah.
So we have Advocate Indrani Patni. She is a first-class LLM cyber law, alleviating dispute resolutions diploma, and she is also qualified as a musician. She is a former president of All India Federation of Women Lawyers and also a lecturer in Law College at Nashik, and she has conducted many seminars, and she brings great amount of wisdom to our doctors. I'd request Dr. Patni to please give her presentation.
Patni ma'am?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
But we can't see you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Can you see me now?
Not yet.
नाही नाही ते हे बघ असं वर पकडून आणा
Yes, ma'am. We can't see you completely, but
Yeah, I think.
तुमचं
Yeah,
screen
now we can.
yeah. Now we can see you. Yes, ma'am.
Now we can see you. Thank you.
Yes. Honorable Chief Guest, organizers, faculty members, Gauri, and friends. I congratulate this forum for organizing this program, and that too on the Human Rights Day. Yes, it is 10 December, it's Human Rights Day. Women rights are human rights. We always say secure women for a secure state, and all women need to be free from all kinds of violence. Every woman has got right to live with dignity. Without dignity, nobody can live. And therefore, I feel that such kind of forums are very necessary to understand what are the legal provisions, whether there are progressive laws, and whether women really want to take protection, whether women really want to go ahead. And secondly, there are different types of violences. For example, physical violence, sexual violence, mental violence, economic violence, all forms of violence recognized by Domestic Violence Act, by Indian Penal Code. Now the name is changed, of course. Indian Penal Code and all other small legislations. There is
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am.
Act.
Madam, sorry to interrupt you, but your face cannot be seen completely. We can see you only partly. Can you adjust the screen? Now that is perfect. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. So, with all such kinds of examples of violence, whether we have a strong legal system against sexual violence, not only against sexual violence, domestic violence, violence under four walls, which will give us effective implementation of law machinery. There are provisions of Bharosa Sale, nowadays Nirbhaya Pathak is there, but still there are lacunae which I will be able to tell you by spotting certain cases which I have come across. One Anuya, of course, imaginary name, a happily married woman, a school teacher, approached me last year and complained about her husband's cousin who stayed with them. He followed her while doing work during household chores, also tried to touch her cleverly every now and then. Then he observed her while changing or taking bath with playing certain tricks. Once, in the absence of her husband, entered her room one day while she was changing, forcefully hugged and kissed, took video and asked her for sexual relationship and threatened her of making the video public. The lady escaped and told her husband, who initially did not believe, but later on he drove him out of the house. They decided to take a legal action. His actions amounted to offense of stalking, voyeurism, assault, sexual harassment, assault to outrage her modesty, and complaint was filed accordingly. Her statement, the statement of the maid, the husband's statement, and also the images found on the mobile of this person were enough to book him, and he was arrested, though bailed out with very much great difficulty. Now the trial is on. There are such kind of offenses such as acid attack, stalking, outraging women's modesty, then eve teasing, making sound, making gestures, showing obscene objects to women, outraging her modesty by intruding into her privacy, by singing obscene songs. All such kinds of actions are considered as a violence against women, and all they are punishable under the Indian Penal Code. The gender bias, the superiority complex, lust, criminal mind, treating women as a weaker section. This is the basis of the violence against women. The domestic violence offenses against the marriage is such as treating woman as a married woman of that particular person and having intercourse with her, kidnapping, sexual harassment, wrongful restraint, wrongful confinement, dowry death, and also treating her up in such a manner that she feels that she should go and commit suicide. All people feel that Section 498A or any such dowry death cases are only if the woman dies. No, if the woman feels that she should commit suicide and she has been harassed, all these sections are attracted. Rape, which is now termed as a sexual assault, is also considered by all of us. I'm not going to go into definition, but I would say that sexual assault or rape is punishable only with a life imprisonment, and not there is no death punishment in spite of the fact that the woman dies due to rape or woman or sexual assault, or despite the fact that the woman becomes and goes into a vegetative state because of the rape. So this is our movement to include the death punishment for rape or sexual assault. There are so many other aspects like marital rape. Marital rape is still not recognized in the statute books, but there is also a movement that marital rape should be considered in order to protect the woman's own desire, her individual liberty, and her dignity. Another case, one Saloni, the assistant collector with 2 daughters, fought against her assistant collector husband, who harassed her for dowry, took away all her salary, threatened her to succumb her to her wishes, and threatened to harass the daughters if she doesn't do that, and wished to assaulted her in front of the staff openly, and brought women in the house in her presence, kept sexual relations without her wishes, and the woman who was hesitant because she was bothered about her qualification, her reputation as an assistant collector. Later on, she filed a case under domestic violence. Under 498A, the interim compensation was granted. The restraint orders were taken, and he had to take the anticipatory bail and has to face the inquiry from his department also. So now he is asking the woman to go for compromise. Just now, Dr. Katke has talked about the rape of a minor girl. So a 6-year-old girl, Mitu, was approached me with her father and gave a shocking story. Her mother took her to her village where her grandfather stayed in a very big house. Many times she used to go on the vacation or occasionally. Her grandfather used to take her upstairs to tell a story and removed her frock and panty and did something which she couldn't understand. She complained her mother many times of stomach ache and something odd which is happening. Then later on, the mother, she said that grandfather is doing something which she doesn't like. The mother did not believe in her. She neglected and gave the certain medicine for stomach ache and again went to her place. When she approached her father and told her father that this is happening, the father found out what has exactly happened, and there was a fight between husband and wife for not neglecting the child like this. But it's surprising that the mother never believed her. Mother said that my father will never do it. Then the father, the child's father took her to the police. The case was registered. Session trial went on. But I'm very sorry, later on the girl was tutored to become hostile. She became hostile, and there was pressure to compromise. Her father also had to listen to it, and then the poor Mitu never got the justice. There are so many other cases which I could say, but very important case in my career was of 2 college friends who loved each other. Their castes were different, so there was opposition from the house. They did not want them to get married. Therefore, the boy demanded sexual relationship. She refused. She said, unless and until we are married, I'm not going to go for it. Then he took her to Triambakeshwar. They garlanded each other. He told her that yes, well, we are married and we can go for it. They had sexual intercourse. Later on, he went for further studies and the girl became pregnant. She came to know, understood after 3 months. She refused to terminate it, and the time had also gone for termination. Then later on, the child was born, a son was born. He denied the paternity. He said that we cannot marry each other and this is not my child. Then the DNA test was done. The scientist, Dr. Rao from Virological Institute at Hyderabad, came to depose. Yes, he came to depose. The paternity was proved and declared by the court. Side by side, we had asked for the restitution of conjugal rights, though there was a legal marriage. But later on, there was a compromise because the girl said that I don't want to stay with this person who always neglected me and who has committed such a breach of trust. Therefore, with this she got the justice. But such kind of cases are also very important. There are plenty, and whether it is a postgraduate doctor friend or there is a IT engineer, there are cases not only from the village people. There not only a person who is a house worker, but with such a high class people also such kind of complaints are coming. Because you all are doctors, I would like to say that postgraduate doctors, lady doctors, always have some kind of a jealous problem or some kind of a hatred from their postgraduate or super specialty doctor husbands. And because I belong to a medical family, they come to me with great faith. And then I try to counsel them, but sometimes it doesn't happen because there is a suspicion. The woman, the lady doctor is from the other field. So she attends conferences, she goes here and there, she has a better practice. This triggers the violence of different type, not only mental, but in some other manner, which I cannot even describe also. So such cases are also not resolved by divorce. But most of the times, the women would like to compromise, and because they are settled in their practice in life, they want to carry on. And sometimes for the children also, they want to hold back. So there are so many such cases which I can communicate with you. But I think due to paucity of time, I am not going further. I would like to tell you all that such kind of programs have to be conducted every now and then. And the feeling of sisterhood has to be there amongst all kinds of professionals. And with this cooperation, I think we can march ahead and have a better solution for sexual violence against women. Thank you.
Ma'am, in my case also, we called to Dr. Rao from Hyderabad.
Okay.
That father was accused.
Yes, yes.
Because I was the only one was insisted to do the DNA of that baby.
Yes.
And
thank you so much,
then,
Advocate Patni,
and,
for that excellent deliberation and how we as doctors have to support women. In fact, I can see Rabindranath Tagore's picture behind you.
Yes, ma'am.
And
This is my
like
office.
he said, the mind is without fear and the head is held high.
Yes, right.
Into that haven of freedom, my father, let my country
My
away.
country away.
True, truly said. And of course, doctor, you are also following that case in France, where that lady Giselle has, rebuked all the men who raped her when her husband allowed them to come in. I mean, it's unimaginable. At that scale, she was being raped, and none of the men came forward even to depose against the husband. So these are all the problems that we are facing across the world. And thank you, Dr. Meg, for organizing this excellent program on the wide variety of violence and harassment that women face. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
We will be moving forward with the rest of our session. I would like to request our next speaker, Dr. Kiranmay Devineni ma'am, who will be reporting the activities by all members of AMWI in the past 16 years. In the past 16 days, I'm so
Yes.
sorry.
Not just AMWI, the FOXI has a committee, No to Violence
Yes.
Against Committee. So the overall.
Madam is Madam is Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology at GMC Vanaparthi, Kaloji University of Health Sciences, Telangana. She's chairperson of FOXY No to Violence Against Women Committee 2022 to 25. She's co-member of FOXY Youth Cell 2022 to 25. She's co-member coordinator TOT and faculty Dhira Initiative to Stop Violence Against Women, member of ISOPARB, IMS, CIMP, and multiple other organizations. She was the Dr. Kamini Rao Yuva Foxy Orator in 2013. She received the Foxy Dhira Award in 2021, recipient of the MS Signature Award, the Best Doctor Award from the Government of Telangana for Mother and Child Health Care in 2023. She's peer reviewer across multiple journals, scientific convener across multiple international conferences, and she's also a trainer of trainers. A very, very warm welcome to you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, let me thank our respected dear Mandakini madam. I know madam's passion from the beginning in doing work and violence against women, and I'm also extremely proud of madam for her work in AMBI, as well as the fact that she's going to be the international beacon of hope, I should say. And also, I thank all the good work done by and the webinar invitation to be part of this webinar. Of course, the FOXY No to Violence Against Women Committee itself is I would say, a very constructive step on behalf of FOXY to realize that there is violence against women and that there should be a specific committee looking into it. So this preceded, I would say, a little bit of background on Dr. Shanta Kumari madam when she was president. She has made No to Violence Against Women as one of her theme topics, Stop Violence Against Women, and the Dhira program initiative which she had done with UNICEF. It's a school certification program with a beautiful module. We were all part of the syllabus, curriculum. We made the curriculum, and also we were the master trainers and TOTs. That gave us all the master trainers. I think there were around 2,000 master trainers across the country. FOXY, so you're still doing great work with that, because whenever we go to schools, the impact that it has on students, teachers is huge, and it gives us hope that this generation will understand what violence against women is, and they'll not only act, incur in it, not take part in it, but also act as very active bystanders in stopping violence against women. So with this background, let me share. So since the formation of the committee, these 16 days are like very, very, very important days for the committee. So every time all the society's members, they do it like a huge campaign across all the societies of FOXY, and also AMBI societies have also done a lot of activities. So I would be, without wasting much time, sharing the activities. Yeah, are you able to see my? Are you able to see?
Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible.
Yeah.
Full.
Yes, ma'am, from the beginning. So this is the activities that we started right from November itself. So what we generally do is to encourage participation. We have a contest kind of thing. So to participate in a rally, organize a lecture, do whatever activity, flash mob or street play, school program, Dhira program, public awareness and all. And these entire 16 days, they do the activities and send to us. So the three committees, not just No to Violence Against Women Committee, but Public Awareness Committee and the Ethics and Medical Legal Committee together have come together for this activity. So I will just give a brief summary. So this is on 25th November, the day one of the 16 days of activism. So on day one, we had 37 activities across all the societies involving 5,000 students and people. Yeah. So this is only a collage. This is Shanta madam's video, which is so actually what else we had done as committee was to take messages from all the office bearers of FOXY, especially the president, secretary general, and the co-chairpersons, treasurer, Dr. Shanta, and also one film director who had given a wonderful message how violence against women is a men's issue, not a women's issue, and how men should rise up and talk about it and stop it. So this also we had done. So these are few pictures from the activities. This is from the Karimnagar Society. So these are the summary of activities. As you can see, Vijayawada has done multiple activities, Nalgonda, Reva Society, and then again Vijayawada, lot of activities. Then Prayagraj Society had done multiple activities. Then Chennai had done. So this is from day 1. Day 2 on 26/11, we had recorded 16 activities involving 1500 people. So this is part of the role play from the Bangalore Society of Obstetrics and Gynecology. You can see the students in the open area and also the self-defense techniques and all. This is from Uttar Pradesh, Prayagraj. Dr. Sabita Agarwal, who had done multiple activities. This is the poster competition from the students, and this is from Allahabad, that is Prayagraj Society. This is a rally that they had taken, the posters, and these are from the Alwar Society, some of the pictures. And again, coming down to day 2 activities, as I was telling, there are 16 activities. And day 3 activities, we had 17 activities covering 1500 people. Various activities, not just students, but also healthcare workers, signature campaigns. You can see role plays. You can see men signing. Mostly this time we had a lot of men coming up and signing, taking the pledge, coming to the rallies, etc. So, and excellent media coverage, and both video as well as the print media and the news channels. So, a lot of propaganda and campaigning had happened. So, these are from the 27th activities. Again, you can see Ranchi here and Vijayawada, Behrampur. So this is day 4 activities. Again, 16 activities involving 2000 people. This is a collage of the activities. You can see again signature campaigns, print media, posters. So Manipal Society, Vijayawada Society, Allahabad Society, Behrampur Society, Nalgonda Society. So multiple involving hundreds of students and all. These were the activities. Then day 5 activities, 18 activities, 2,800 people. Again, Vijayawada led. It did lot of 60 activities it had done over 16 days. Then Nalgonda Society, Behrampur, Agra Society. These were the activities. Then day 6, 30th, we had 14 activities covering 3,200 people. This is from Vijayawada Society, summary of their activities. They had done a very huge press conference. All the media in AP had covered this event. They had done a walk in orange. So this was their culminating event. Here you can see there's activities. They covered 60 schools and 13,000 students. They had done signature campaigns, radio programs, role plays, rallies, flash mobs. They covered self-help groups and stage shows also. So this is on 30th. So the summary. So this is on, yeah. Just take this. Yeah, this is day 7 on 1st December. So it was a Sunday, little bit of less activities were there. This is from Hyderabad, OGSH, which is the starting point for the Dhira. This you can see Dr. Jamuna, who's doing at a Geeta Hospital Nursing College. There was a huge rally. And the Deoghar Society, Erode Society, and Manipal Society, they participated on this day. Day 8, 2, 12, 11 activities, 2,600 people were covered. Again, Vijayawada Society took the lot of activities. Day 9, 3, 12, 2,600 people, students were covered, 400, 350, 300, 120, 212, etc. Here, Karimnagar, Jabalpur. Jabalpur did a wonderful online talk show where they had also invited me as a chairperson for the No to Violence Against Women Committee. They had invited lot of stakeholders, as you have done here, like advocates, police people, etc. It was a wonderful discussion. Then this is day 10, 412, 1240 people. Again, summary of activities. Day 11, 512, 13 activities, 1,700 people. And this is what I had done at my place of work. This is I did with the Sakhi Center team at Vanaparthi. This was on 5th December. And we also took a pledge to prevent child marriages. So this is summary of activities of 5th December. So Katni Obstetrics and Gynecology Society, it has done again tremendous work. They went to villages. You can see the villages here. I cannot name all the villages, but they had gone to multiple villages, rural areas, and had done rallies and awareness campaigns. They have got CSP Katni as chief guest, etc. So this is again from I think Katni. So this 6th December, day 12, 10 activities, 2,500 people were covered. This is one very special program which Bengal Society of Obstetrics and Gynecology had done, headed by Dr. Basab Mukherjee and Amit Basu. I was invited as a guest or a special guest. What was the very speciality of this program was they had identified 5 grassroots champions, madam, who worked in the field and since decades, and they are themselves survivors. They have come out of the trauma and they were doing so much of activity. And one girl, she had come out of such a traumatic marriage. Her husband, love marriage, he had cut off her right hand and she was wearing an artificial limb, and she has completed her post-graduation, PhD, and everybody, it was amazing. So all these women, 5 women were felicitated. They were given awards and rewards and everything, and they had a poster competition. And this was done at the town hall, which was a very, very, very prestigious heritage hall. Then these are the activities by the Nalgonda. Nalgonda also had done wonderful public activities. Like they have taken this 1,000 people on the road, and a wonderful media coverage. They had multiple newspapers and TVs have covered their activities. This is from Dr. Jairani. She did a walkathon at Erode. And these are the YouTube links that we had taken and put up on Foxy website. So anytime Foxy Federation of Obstetrics and YouTube channel, these will be forever there. All the messages from all the office bearers of Foxy. So in total 16 days, we had total 200 activities and nearly 30,000 people were involved in this 16 days. These are from the AMVI societies, from Alampur CHC. This is covering the ASHA workers. Again, very, very important to cover the ASHA workers because they are at the village level. They are the counselors. They are the baseline grassroots healthcare workers whose words the patients and the village, everybody believes and trusts. So this is with the ASHA workers. This is with Dr. Mangal Rathi and Anjali Thakre at Shri Dada Saheb Gawai Vidyalaya and ISO Jilla Parishad at village Malhara. I think I see so many activities in villages and multiple types of activities they had done. So really proud to present all the work done by.
Excellent work.
Actually, this can I share? I mean, yeah. So actually, we started in 2022. I remember we started with maybe some 10, 15, 20 activities. Then the next year it increased to like, we had 35 societies and we had nearly 80, 90 activities. But this time though, it was like beyond, we had trouble compiling all the activities every day. I haven't yet gone through all the videos, photos and programs. It was overwhelming. So, madam, so the work going on very well. So, I just wanted to say a few this thing about this global report on femicides by the UN. The theme is every 10 minutes, 1 woman is killed. So, 51,000 women are killed globally this year in 2023. 140 women per day. That makes one in every 10 minutes. You have seen Abhaya. So, there is no more example like. It's not just domestic violence, it's not just emotional, it has become some extreme kind of violence with homicide. So, and 80% of the homicides of women are by intimate partner violence and family members. And whereas in men, only 11% are by their partners. So this is the contrast, and it goes, to say that stay at home, don't go out, it is unsafe. So when we see at homicides, 80% are done at home by partners and family. So is home safe? That is one thing. And madam was sharing about the cases and also Dr. Ashri. So it comes like, a girl tells a mother that grandfather is doing something, but mother doesn't trust. A wife tells husband that someone has done something, but the husband doesn't trust. So this is the basic, such an upstream task for a woman to come out. if something happens to me, I'll think 100 times to tell, even after, being so much into the activism and so much into. So we know what people say, what resistance we get, and especially in child sexual abuse, the families, the mother, parents, everybody will shut the child off. So
Yes,
it is
true, Dr. Kiranmay. It is really very heart-wrenching how things move on. Sorry to interrupt you, but we already exceeded our time, and we are moving on because we
Out of
became
time.
really late. But this excellent work by Dr. Kiranmay all over the country. She has been really working. I have been associated with her for some of the programs, and she has been a real leader in this field. Thank you so much for joining us and for getting this. In fact, when
Gauri,
yes,
next
ma'am.
Dhira awardee.
1 minute, 1 minute.
From our
So,
1 minute.
can I call Dr. Yeah, madam. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Kiran bhai, thank you very much for actually, coming out. And when Monica told me that Kiran bhai wants to present, I was extremely happy.
Ma'am, thank you so much. It was a great opportunity for me.
WI and Foxy and our aim is the same, And
Yes, ma'am, I would be taking the membership very soon and looking forward to work with the MV and
Yes.
Ma'am, madam has agreed to start a chapter. I've spoken to her.
Yes, this has been on the
Yes,
agenda.
yeah. So, Dr. Monica, can we
Yes, ma'am.
conclude because our guests are also with us, and in fact, when Dr. Advocate Patni had organized a All India Women Lawyers Conference 2 years ago, at that point of time, that's a very important point that so many women have been really strong, and only then laws were made, because it takes really a great effort for women to speak up, and then that is how laws are actually made and protocols are made. So it is all these laws that we have today is to all the strong women who have actually stood up. So Monica, over to you.
Thank you, Gauri ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present officially the vote of thanks for the finale of the Unite campaign to end the violence against women. This webinar was in association with AMWI, Amox Midlife Committee, and Amox Tri Shakti Jagar Project, and the Mumbai OBGY Society. We are grateful to all our office bearers, Dr. Mandakini Megh Madam as the President of AMWI, and Dr. Suvarna Khadilkar Madam as the Secretary, as well as Dr. Suvarna as the President of MOGS, Dr. Kiran Sir as the President of Amox, and Dr. Megh Madam is also the in charge of the Sri Shakti Jagar project. Thank you, everybody, that you have come together as a liaison to unite against this campaign. We thank our chief guest, Dr. Alka Deshmukh Madam, the Additional Deputy Commissioner, for her esteemed presence and her words of wisdom. We thank our chairpersons, Dr. Sandhya Saharan Ma'am, Dr. Anjali Chivne Madam, Dr. Mary D. Cruz, and Dr. Suvarna Khadilkar Madam. Our faculties for today, Dr. Rajashri Katke Ma'am, Dr. Megh Madam, Professor Dr. Asmita Vaidya, Dr. Geeta Balsarkar Madam, Dr. Gauri Karandikar Madam, and Advocate Indraini Patni Madam, Dr. Kiranmay Ma'am for an extensive report. We thank you so much for your esteemed presence and enlightening us today about this topic. Together we can fight against this evil is what the message we can give to our delegates who have joined us online. Thank you, Dr. Sanchari, for an excellent coordination.
Thank you.
And also Dr. Amit Munkar for the technical help and the Zoom platform.
Monica.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that please share your presentation. We are going to, Gauri and me are thinking of coming out with the, soft publication for this particular campaign. So whatever presentation you have done or whatever you have to say, we are going
one brief, yeah.
One report. So please, and
Yes,
that to distribute at our international level and all. Today we have international attendees.
Yeah, I will take photo without just a minute. All are there. एक minute इकडे बघा सगळे.
Can everybody put on the videos, please? Whoever is around.
Yes, I'll click a photograph.
Yes, ma'am.
Then.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have a suggestion. Please publish it in some English newspaper, please.
English newspaper. Okay. Yes. Let us try. Madam, Katke madam and Meg madam in Mumbai, they are the most influential. If त्यांनी सांगितलं तर कोणी refuse नाही करणार.
Times of India supplement they can.
Yes, we will
पहिले
definitely
वैद्य मॅडमला विचारावं लागेल ते हाय होतील का किंवा देशमुख मॅडमला वैद्य मॅडमला कारण पेपर मध्ये त्यांना
Definitely, I'll be there to
No,
assist.
no.
No problem.
चालेल ना
Always. Yes, yes, of
Hi,
course.
madam.
Okay, then
Please
I
send it, doctor, in the
Thank
group
you.
so I can put it in Calcutta papers also.
Sure, ma'am. We'll try it.
Sure,
We
ma'am.
will
Thank
definitely.
you.
Good suggestion. Good suggestion, ma'am. And thank you for this collaboration. It was really wonderful. It makes a lot of difference.
thank you.
Thank you very much. And apologies for the big delay in time, but yeah, but we didn't want to stop anyone because
it was
everybody
very qualitative
talking.
and very
So
informative
We
and it was
had
really good up to the
amazing
mark
time
of that.
after work. This was a very delightful session.
Yes.
Very, very nice. After
And
court,
it is very important. We are
Yes.
speaking, we are coming and speaking on the platform, and we should thank to Dr. Meg Madam. She has created this platform so that all the women who are, helping to
Working,
the
ma'am, to
society,
come
they are
together.
coming on this platform.
I
So
want
big
Special thanks to
congratulations
Gauri
to
ma'am.
them.
number ठेवा तुम्ही.
Pleasure.
yes.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Thank
Thank you and good night. Stay safe
Ma'am,
and
good
safe
night.
for all of us. Yes.
God bless you
Thank you to
all.
Gauri Karandikar
you.
ma'am for bringing this program together, ma'am, and all your efforts.
No, everybody is. It's a
Yes,
teamwork.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
God
Thank you
bless
so
you
much, ma'am.
all.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Good
Take
night.
care.
Good night, ma'am.
Night.